Look at this. This is it's kind of like a modified proof. I'm not going to make you do the whole thing. I'm not even going to go through all the steps on what a whole entire proof would be. But I'm just going to, this is what I want you to do. Let's say you saw a problem like this in the book. Now, I understand this is from the worksheet, but I am going to give you some problems from the book here in a minute. But what I want you to do is this. I want you to write all the stuff down. All right. Now, it's already written down on the worksheet. So on a worksheet, you don't have to do that. But if it's from the book, on your paper, I want you to write all this stuff down. They're going to give you a section that's given. It's stuff that they tell you is true about the triangles that you wouldn't be able to know any other way. All right. So I want you to write all that stuff down. Everything that I just finished writing down right here, I want you to write down when you're doing the problems from the book. Is that understood? On the worksheet, you don't have to bother rewriting it because it's already there right on the worksheet. But in the book, I want you to write this stuff down on your own paper. I want you to draw the pictures. I want you to write down the given. I want you to write down the prove. Okay, it's just a matter of copying. That's all it is. Okay, it's very, very simple. So here's what I want you to do. This is that modification I'm telling you about. Okay, I'm making it a lot easier for you to do this. And let's do these in a different color. Let's go red. What I want you to do, now in the worksheet, I understand they're already marked for you, so that kind of leaves some of the work out. But in the book, it may not mark these things for you. You're going to have to mark them yourself. So I just left these triangles blank. Let's mark these things ourselves. So it says PR equals DE. So you come over here, you look at PR, and look at DE. How would I mark those on the triangle? Little tick marks, right. Put a little mark here, a little mark here. Now, on a quiz or a test, if I give you something like this on a quiz or a test, I'll give you completely blank triangles. I'll label them for you with the letters, but you have to mark it. That's part of getting this problem right. Everybody understand that? Now, again, on the worksheet, it's already marked for you, so it's not that big of a deal. But on a homework, from the book or on a quiz or a test, this is part of getting the problem right. I want you to mark the appropriate stuff. It's very, very simple. Wouldn't you agree? It just tells you what's equal, and you just put little marks there just to show that they're equal to each other. So that's not that hard. So PR equals DE, we've got that. What about PT? PT equals DF. Am I just going to put one tick mark here? Right, I'm going to put 2. Why do I put 2 and not 1? Because it's different than this. That's right. Okay. Now look, I don't really care if you put 2 on the PR and 1 on the PT, as long as they're different number of tick marks. Everybody got that? All right. So I'd put 2 right here as well because it's equal to DF. Everybody got that? What else do they tell you? They tell you that angle R is equal to angle E. So we come up here. How do I show that? Put a little arc. Put a little thing right here. Put a little arc right there and one right there. As long as it has one arc, that means those two angles are equal to each other. This is part of you getting the problem correct. Everybody understand that? All right. And what else do they tell you? That T and F are equal to each other, right? So we put 2 arcs. That's right. So 2 arcs here and 2 arcs right there. And we have to prove that these triangles are congruent to each other, that PRT is congruent to DEF. Now, we have 2 ways so far. Now, in the next lesson, next week, I'm going to show you 2 other ways to prove triangles congruent. But yesterday, we talked about 2 different ways to prove triangles congruent. Do you remember what they were? I'll just do this off to the side right here in this little box. Right. One way is side, side, side. If I can show all 3 sides of this triangle equaling all 3 sides of this triangle, then the triangles are congruent. Well, look what I have right now. Is there any way to say that they're congruent by side, side, side? There's not, because I only have 2 pair of sides equal, don't I? I don't know that this third side is equal to this third side just yet. Would you agree with that? So I can't say side, side, side. What's the second way that we can prove triangles congruent? Side, angle, side. All right, let's take a look at that. Now remember what has to be true about that angle. That angle has to be the angle that's what? In between the 2 sides, or we call the included angle. All right. Now here's this side and here's this side. What about the angle? Which angle do I need to know if I'm going to use this? I need to know that angle P is equal to what? Angle D, but they didn't tell me that, did they? They didn't give me that in the given, all right? But is there a way that I could figure out that P and D are equal to each other? This is something we talked about. Okay, the other 2 are equal, right? These 2 are equal to these 2. Do you remember we had a theorem? Do you remember the name of that theorem? No, it's not Pythagorean theorem. That's only right triangles. It's the only theorem you know? No, it's not CPCTC. It's not any of those letters. If I have 2, Okay, what's the name of that theorem? You don't have a name? Third angle theorem, right. We call it the third angle theorem. Do you remember that one? All right. Settle down. I know the third angle theorem is exciting, but I don't think it's that exciting. Okay, so watch. So that's the stuff that they give us. Watch. Sometimes we have to figure out stuff on our own. And this is what we had to figure out on our own. All that stuff was given. That was easy, wasn't it? That was a piece of cake, just figuring it out. But watch this. I need to figure out that angle P is equal to angle D. So what I'm going to do is I'll put 3 arcs here, equals 3 arcs right here. In the honors class, I would make you give a reason why angle P is equal to angle D. All right. I'm trying to think of how I can do it here without going through a whole entire proof. But I think that's all right. I think if you just mark them equal to each other, it's fine. Okay. But what is the reason, though? Why is this angle equal to this? Because the third angle theorem that says if 2 angles of one triangle equal 2 angles of another triangle, then the third angle is equal. Okay. Now take a look at it. Now are the 2 triangles congruent to each other? Give me a reason. Now I definitely want a reason for this. What is my reason why the triangles are congruent? Because I have 2 reasons. I either have this one or I have this one. Which one am I going to use? Number 2, which is what? Side angle side. Okay. Now look, I have to see that this angle right here is equal to this angle right here. You have to show that on the picture. So when you're doing these problems, I need to see that this angle equals this. And I also need a reason why these triangles are congruent. So it says, prove the triangle's congruent. Well, the triangles are now congruent because of what? Side, angle, side. So everything that I have in color right there, that's all the stuff that you need. Well, actually everything. Everything on here is what you need to get the answer right on this test. You need to write out all the given. You need to write what needs to be proven. Listen. You need to write what needs to be proven. You need to draw the triangles. You need to mark the triangles. And you need to give a reason why the triangles are congruent. Right now we only have 2 reasons, right? So it's a 50-50 shot. Okay, it's either side, side, side or side, angle, side. All right, but in this situation, it's side, angle, side, because we don't know all 3 sides are equal. So that's what I want you to do. You're doing this. You're doing numbers 3 and 4 on that page, and you're doing, watch, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on the other page. All right, so there it is. That's your homework right there.
Please come to the office.